Planning Commission meeting for August 24. We can have a roll call, please.
Chair DeBolt,
Here?
Vice Chair Lowe,
Here.
Commissioner Andre,
Here.
Commissioner Quilty,
Here.
Commissioner Gross,
Here.
Commissioner Stolfo-Kanik,
Here.
and Commissioner Zelmer.
Here.
Thank you.
Could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready to begin? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Okay, at this time, we'll open the meeting for oral communications. Anybody in the audience wishing to address the Planning Commission on any item within our subject matter or jurisdiction? If you wish to speak on an item on the agenda, you might want to wait until then. So if there's anybody wanting to speak? Seeing none, we'll close the oral communications. We'll move to the consent calendar. Only one item on the calendar regarding the continued use for teleconferencing. Somebody'd like to make a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I'll make a motion to approve. I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None? Okay, we'll move on to item 6. This is a continued item from last month regarding a CUP for the secondhand store. I think it's Play It Again Sports. Can we have a staff report, brief staff report on this?
Yes, good evening, Chair DeBolt and members of the Planning Commission. As you are mostly aware that Play It Again Sports, located at 10582 Los Alamitos Boulevard, has been going through this CUP process. And I'm just going to kick it to Tom because we just got an update from the owner of Play It Again Sports. But ultimately, the owner is requesting another 30 days to finalize his some of his code enforcement violation. And so, again, Tom will provide that update.
Yeah, Mr. Phillips emailed me today and said that he's renting a warehouse space to put his container stuff inside of, and that he's received permission from the property owner to remove the ADA ramp on the front of the building, make a flat concrete area for outdoor sales. And so we would, if he does this, or at least brings me plans over the next month, we will bring it to you and ask if you would allow him to do outdoor sales. That would be part of it. But in the meantime, I think we're okay asking for a 30-day continuance. Beyond that, I think we've given him plenty of time, so.
Correct. We're requesting that we're just going to give him the continuance for the 30 days. And then we got to kind of have like a hard date or deadline because we've been, unfortunately dealing with, the CUP for the past 6+ months. So again, that's our request, is to continue for 30 days.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Is there anyone on the commission wishing to comment? Victor, Suffolk County?
Yes, hi.
Go ahead.
Is the applicant here? No? Applicant's not here?
No.
Okay, this is kind of for his benefit. Before I even start, I made an observation, I want to make a comment, but I'd like to ask council, can they take that ADA ramp out without approval? I mean, don't they have to have that?
That's something that I haven't looked at to date, but it's something that we would vet with the building official to see whether or not they're still complying with code requirements and ADA requirements with whatever it is they're proposing to do there.
Okay, yeah, I don't want them taking that out, saying that we gave them permission when that
Right.
might not be.
I've checked with the building inspector about it, and he said it would be okay. They have another ramp from the parking lot and path of travel from that, from the parking on the building next door that goes up there, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, what I wanted to say is I made an observation when I was looking at the staff report, and it's twofold. First of all, it says no fiscal, this is for the benefit of the applicant if he was
Right.
here. It says no fiscal impact, which, as we all know, that means if we pass it, the fiscal impact it's going to have on the city with regard to revenue generation and costs and things. But in this situation, it says no fiscal impact, but every time he comes in front of the city and occupies the time of staff, whether it be planning or other staff that sets up the agenda and prepares the meetings, that's actually a fiscal impact on the city. It's costing the city person hours and other drains on time that could be better spent. So every time he comes here, it's costing the city money. That's one thing I wanted to say. But also, it appears to me that, he might be using this whole process to circumvent the code enforcement process, which, as I believe it goes, is if there's a complaint and an inspector goes out with cost to the city, makes an observation, observes violations, they issue either an order to comply or a notice to comply. An individual gets 30 days in which to comply. If they don't, inspector goes back and issues a citation. Well, this has been going on for at least 60 days, maybe more. We're going to ask for more. This is almost like circumventing code enforcement. So I'm not really in favor of, although I'm sure we're going to continue because he's not here. I don't see why we would do this, more than one more time. That's all I have to say.
Anybody else have a comment?
From my understanding, from what he said last time, there was a citation issued, wasn't there?
I believe so,
Yes.
correct.
So
Yeah.
he has
He's had a
had
few.
some sort of fiscal impact on himself, so,
Well, if he hasn't acted on the citation, I mean, if it's just sitting there, if we're not taking that citation to the next level, then what is he, yeah, maybe he has. I don't know. I don't know how the process works. But usually, often there's a citation, it rises to the level of misdemeanor. And that is filed with the local jurisdiction. And that, point is, it's been here a while. I don't see any real effort on his part to do what it has clearly been told he has to do. So I just don't know that we need to hold his hand any longer.
rather than continuing it, why don't we give him a set deadline today?
If I may, there's a couple things I'd like to respond to with your comments. There is an active code enforcement case that includes administrative citations that is being pursued, and our action, one way or the other on this item, is not going to stem that enforcement. This won't cure, per se, the outstanding citations.
Okay.
That's still an issue the applicant will need to deal with to the satisfaction of the city. The code enforcement citations are an administrative remedy. We do retain the option to pursue criminal or misdemeanor claims, as you've indicated, if we get to the point of feeling that this person is not being responsive. And the last thing I would add is that although staff has asked for a continuance to the next regular meeting, one more month, if it's the pleasure of the commission, we would certainly be prepared to come back with a resolution recommending denial of the CUP if the commission feels that, we've given enough time and are willing to, I guess, take an affirmative stance on this matter as opposed to continuing to push the CUP process down the road. So that's just something I would offer to the commission, that if you are willing to continue it for one more meeting, if staff makes a determination that there hasn't been any forward momentum and we're not in a position to actually recommend approval, that we would come back with a recommendation of denial, and then we'd pursue all available remedies at that point based on the applicant's failure to comply with code and so forth.
Okay. If I may, just like
Go ahead.
to close out my comments by repeating what was said last time, that I think we're all in agreement. We want this individual to do business in the city. We want him to thrive. We want his business to grow. And I think he was made aware of that last time, and I still believe that we want that, but, it has to be done within the scope of the city's ordinances and requirements.
Okay. I just have a couple, kind of a question and a comment. I agree with Commissioner Solfacanik and Commissioner Zelmer and what the city attorney is saying, but the question I have is this removal of the ramp. Not so much the fact that the ramp can or cannot be removed, but who is going to apply for the permit to remove the ramp? Is it the owner of the property or is it the business owner?
It'll become part of his CUP for part of this CUP.
Is he going to be beginning work on it?
He will have
prior-
to show me plans, and then I will show you those plans. If he doesn't give me plans, for it by next month, I just won't even bother, so.
I mean, I wouldn't want, I mean, he's already, there's 2 violations. I mean, we have one, he's operating a business without the CUP. He's not a permitted business there, period. So that's, to me, the overarching one. The code violations by somebody who's not permitted to operate the business.
Right.
I'm not an attorney, but to me, it seems there's something out of whack in that. Can you enforce one without him even being a legitimate business there? Or is this something that needs to be addressed to the property owner? I mean, we've had this situation before in other forms, not this, where somebody has rented a space and they've signed a lease, they come in here for a CUP, it either gets denied or something like that, and the guy's stuck on a lease. And so, I mean, I'm not trying to say hammer property owners too hard, but if I owned a commercial building, I think I would know what my zoning is and what my permitted uses are. And if somebody comes in to apply or wants to rent the space, that property owner, before they sign a lease, should know that this use is not a permitted use. He needs a CUP, and should almost be at the direction of the owner, to go to the city. I'm not trying to get too heavy-handed with an owner, but I guess where are we? If you have a business who's not legitimate and they have in the code violation,
But we've
are you
had-
enforcing something against?
We've had contact the property owner. We've even contacted the franchise of Play It Again Sports to try to get this particular business in the city of Los Alamitos in compliance. And so, it's tough for us because we want to, we have a fine line of trying to be, I don't know, lack for a better term, business friendly.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, again, like, the commissioner was saying, we're trying to uphold the rules of the city. And so, again, we've gone through great lengths with this business owner, the property owner, and even reaching out to the franchise to try to get compliance. And so, again, this is where we're at now. If the term of being too lenient is the case, then yes, I will hold accountable for that. And yes, I will say that I was too lenient on the property
I don't think
or
you're-
whatever. But
Yeah.
we are trying to get the business in compliance, and we have gone out, again, like I stated, with all the parties that's involved with this business.
I mean, so to me, the code violations would seem to me have to be addressed completely
Correct.
before we can
That is correct.
approve him in any way, shape, or form. And to the extent that without getting too far ahead, to the extent that the ramp being moved and changed around so he can conduct business outside,
Should be
that
finalized.
that becomes then a condition of,
Mhm.
which if he doesn't do, you follow, it seems like we're digging this hole deeper and deeper and
Correct.
deeper, because okay,
I understand.
okay, good. All right, so I guess if we can, do we need a motion to,
You brought up a good point with the ramp. I mean, he still has compliance with the ADA, so I'm less worried about compliance. But if we do lump it in as a CUP and allow him for outside sales, that transfers to the next owner and the next owner and the next owner. So should there be a temporary use type of permit for the outside sales in particular, separate from the CUP in this case, that he could apply for us after the CUP is approved?
Could we add that condition in as a temporary?
There's different processes in the code.
it's a little different?
We do allow temporary sales, outdoor displays and so forth. That's through a separate approval. It'd be a temporary use permit, and that obviously doesn't attach to the land the same way a CUP entitlement would. Alternatively, someone can apply for a CUP that allows for permanent outside sale displays. I haven't had a chance to review any plans or to understand what's even being proposed prior to this meeting. But if that's something the applicant's looking to do, that would need to be approved pursuant to a CUP. and the commission would need to be comfortable making findings as required by our code in support of that use. And the outdoor permanent sales issue is not necessarily affixed to whether or not the CUP be granted for the secondhand sales operation. So it would be two interrelated issues, but they're not necessarily connected. So you'd have to go through the process of the CUP requesting both the approval to operate as a secondhand dealer and a CUP that would allow you to have the outdoor sales. And staff, if we get to the point of bringing that back to the commission, will provide a report that would give you the information you would need really to make a decision one way or the other on both of those requests.
It doesn't sound like it can be lumped into this, that
No,
outside
it's-
sales is a whole separate,
That's a,
whole separate
right,
deal, so
right.
he can't come back.
Yeah,
The ADA ramp is gonna have to be a whole separate CUP
Yeah.
removal and day in,
yeah.
because it's not temporary sales, he wants to do it daily.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
Since we don't have all of this in front of us, nor has he, this is what we're hearing he wants. I don't know that overly discussing how it goes about is the best idea right now until we have it in writing in front of us. I will say this, I really feel for a lot of tenants because we've had the issue, like Chair DeVoe said, of businesses like the hair salon, that she rented a salon and then she found out she couldn't put a hair salon there because she was unaware to come to the city. I get where people may not know, totally understand the process about a business, and there's some green in that. I think the city does a lot with trying to reach to people and educate them. So it's hard to say, but I do think that we need to look at how do we get owners to become partially or more responsible for what type of businesses they can put in their buildings. And that would be something I think we should consider down the road. But I don't think discussing what he does right now until we have it in writing is probably the best way for us to make a decision.
All right.
I am in agreement with us looking at, we've given him 1 month, but as far as discussing anything, it's
Right.
kind of a hypothesis.
Right, and my purpose of that was not to discuss it in detail right now, but more so address it so it's not coming back later.
Right,
Which is one
right.
option. I do think it should be separate and then it should be addressed so that they don't waste the next month, and then we have to continue it another month, so.
Right. Okay, all right, so do we need a motion on this, or do we just, but I would like to, I like the idea of having a resolution of denial prepared at the end of, at our next meeting, so that if we reach some kind of an impasse or have some type of a, something we didn't anticipate, well, then we can just not have to extend another 30 days. We'll just deal with this at that point.
Yeah, in that case, I would ask for a motion to move staff's recommendation of continuing the public hearing to September 28th.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, and that's with the
If the status does not change,
Right.
our resolution will reflect
right,
the status of the property.
and you'll have a resolution of denial prepared.
Correct.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
We have, Wendy made it. We need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Okay. Moving on to item 6B.
All right, before I kick it over to Tom, just again, this is a site development permit for an expansion of an office building for Pacific Grading, or Grading Pacific, excuse me. So Grading Pacific was again founded in 1971. They are a premier fabricating distributor of industrial flooring products. They are located at, let's see, where is it? I know they're on Reagan Street over there, 3651 South Salito, and I think it ends at the T with Reagan and South Salito over there by the post office. So again, they're here today for consideration of a application for expansion to their existing office space over at 3651 South Salito. So I'm going to kick it over to Tom for the details.
Chair DeBolt and members of the Planning Commission, the applicant's here with us tonight. It's Richard Jimenez from Grading Pacific. I mean, on behalf of Grading Pacific. He's a architect, I think, right, is what your job normally is. So the site is located where he was talking about. The expansion is for a one-story expansion as opposed to a two-story expansion, which you may remember was approved in 2018. That expired, and asked us to retract it or whatever at that point, but it just expired, so. Vehicle access is provided on the south side of the property from Sausalito Street. So nothing will change there. For parking, the applicant is proposing 86 stalls. It's such a large site that I feel like that just requiring in the resolution for them to install 91 is fine. We can tell them and that they can make that happen because there's plenty of room for that. The proposed project removes only asphalt. It doesn't remove any landscaping or anything like that. And it doesn't meet the minimum landscape standards, but that new construction of a new whole building would require. But it's not really feasible on this to add any more landscaping at this point. The expansion will be precision-faced concrete block, much like the other building, in harmony with it. And the colors proposed to be earth tones to blend with the existing building. As proposed, it'll be consistent with the general plan and the plan light industrial zoning designation and all applicable policies. It is smaller than what you've discussed before, so I feel like as staff, we recommend approval for this one.
Okay. Do you have any questions of staff at this time? None? Okay, I'll open the meeting to the public. If you'd like, I imagine the applicant, if you'd like to come forward and give us any information that you might wish to add or
Anything?
not. It's up to you.
Do you guys have any questions?
Are we going to have any questions of the applicant before I ask them to come up? Anybody? No?
No?
All right, fine. In that case, I'll close the oral communications, or the public portion, and bring it back to the commission. Commission have any discussion on this, or if somebody would like to make a motion of approval or whatever, we can go there.
Motion to approve.
I'll
Okay, we have-
second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion, further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Okay. You're all set. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, item 7, any items from the Development Services Department?
I have a few, but before I begin, Tom, you have anything?
I've been on vacation for the past week and a half, so no. So have one more day of vacation, and I'll be done.
Yeah.
With that,
Oh,
with that thing, it just gets
who
in the
let
way
this
of
guy
it.
have a vacation? Oh my God.
But yet he still came in here, and this makes how many?
Yeah, for like 13 years I've come,
And haven't missed?
so haven't missed a single meeting. Yeah.
Wow,
Wow.
Yeah.
Take a week.
that's impressive.
Yeah. I don't know why, but you know.
Give you a hearty thank you. No more pay, but
Yeah.
a hearty thank you.
All right. Sounds good. All right.
Okay, go
Well,
ahead.
again,
Sorry.
thank
We
you,
had-
Tom, for coming here. But yeah, he is technically on vacation and won't be back till Monday. But I have a couple things, update the planning commission. But at our last council meeting, the city council did approve the draft housing element. And so we sent that up to the state. And so it's in their hands right now. Yeah, we're fingers crossed on that. Want to kind of advertise that September's coming up, and so the recreation department here is doing a week of La Salle. That's scheduled for the week of 16th through 24th, and during that week of La Salle, it kind of kicks off with the Serve La Salle. Again, that's a volunteer service, citywide volunteer service program. That's on September 16th and 17th. Also included in there is Bikes and Bites, Family Day, of course, the 5K, 10K, and the Kids Run. The Kids Run's on Friday the 23rd, September 23rd, 5K, 10K runs in the morning of September 24th, and then also that weekend is the street fair as well. So again, visit the city's website if you're interested in participating Bikes and Bites, purchase tickets off the city's website, register again off the city's website, or just come on down to the street fair. It should be a fun week. Again, it's a week of LaSalle, September 16th through the 24th. And that's it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Any items from the commission? Any commissioner like to?
I noticed the dog park is still up. What is that?
Yes, they're very popular, so the recreation bar extended it for another month, to the end of this month, correct.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. No more. Seeing that, we can adjourn till next month. That's it.